It's going down. I'm yelling timber. Or are we just talking about how Pitbull was bad? Anyways, okay, I think we're live. Let's refresh this page. Shallow, shallow, shallow. Oh, we got an ad. That's a really good sign. It is I, Nerdmaid Faith, with my fiance, Bryson Warden. We're engaged.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. Sorry about the baby crying in the other room. That's not us.
That's not our baby.
Not yet.
We gotta wait for that.
We're gonna take the baby and be like, we have another announcement. We've stolen my neighbor's baby. Alright, we have Henna KK120 is here. Welcome. And Merman Aldar is here. That's wonderful. Welcome everybody to the live stream. This is pretty exciting. So I guess it was just over 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago today.
On Friday the 5th of November, as I look at the calendar back there. So yes.
Yeah. There's the echo. Okay, we're getting audio. That's great. So we got engaged, and it's really exciting. And I maybe kind of hinted at it in a few streams. People have been asking me about like life stuff and hair stuff, and I've been like, well, like I want to keep my hair natural for some reasons, and in my 7 years of mermaiding, I was like, I'm growing up, I'm going into a new season of my life, and I was like, I really hope I'm not jinxing this by, like, including you in this video about growing up and moving on, and, but no, we get lucky for me, you decided to propose, so we're engaged. I was a little bit like, oh no, that's gonna be a bad vibe if, like, stuff goes horribly wrong, but it didn't go horribly wrong.
It did not at all.
No. Who else we got here? Finn the Fish, Jenna Anderson, Da Memo. Thank you guys for the congratulations. We're super, super pumped. Been waiting for this for a long time. Yeah. So, yeah, we're still glowing. We're still glowing. We're, the last 2 weeks have been like floating on a happy haze of like, yay!
It's been busy with planning for the wedding and stuff.
Yeah,
too,
that's
so
true.
Yes, but
yeah.
No. Ooh.
Rude. Do you want your bubbly, by the way?
Oh, yes, if you're able to grab it, I appreciate that.
Tea time.
Thank you.
Bryson gets a drink.
Do you have anything to drink?
I don't.
Do you want me to run upstairs and grab one? Or?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll grab you a carbonated beverage, a bubbly. So, yes.
A non-alcoholic carbonated beverage.
Yes. This is a family stream.
Yes, okay. Family-friendly stream. I'm happy for you, brand new baby mermaid with your own watercolor tail. Oh, that's great, Maddie. Hi, Ellie. Y'all are awesome. Congrats. Thank you to an adorable couple. We try. Sometimes we're not as cute as other couples we know of, but we do try to be a little bit cute. Just a little bit. I appreciate you guys all coming in for this tail tea time. I know it's a little short notice. I have been planning on doing this for the last couple weeks, but we have a video of our proposal, which is really, really exciting. So we wanted to share that with you guys. Congratulations. So happy for you. Thank you, Abby. Aww.
Hey,
Mermaid Vlogs wished us a congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So happy for you. I've been married 5 years, been together for 12. That's awesome, Nicole. Where did the proposal take place at? Well, we will be sharing the video very shortly. Should we give backstory as to why you wanted to propose?
Sure, yeah.
Why did you want to propose to me?
Oh, because...
Tell me all the reasons why you love me right now.
You're pretty cool, I guess. No, yeah, okay, it's hard. There's a lot of space.
I know.
There's a lot of space. We had been dating. We are dating for about just over 2 years or so, since September of 2019. And we had gone to like several hikes and stuff. When, am I allowed to say the name of the current global situation?
Yes.
Okay. So with the COVID-19 pandemic, hopefully we don't get demonetized.
Yeah, I don't think
with that, everything shut down.
Yeah, there wasn't much to do.
The province that we're in, and everybody's felt repercussions and such, and I apologize to families and everything if you're going through it. COVID, for me and you, though, was a nice thing, because I was always busy and everything, and I'd be all over the place, like, working in school and such.
I was like, I want to have a relationship.
So I didn't have anything to do aside from Animal Crossing. So I figured, okay, I'll take a little bit of a break from Animal Crossing and stuff. I've already gotten the 5-star island and everything. So we would just go on like hikes and walks and such to different locations. And one of the places that you had mentioned, because you saw it on an Instagram video.
No, it was a TikTok video.
A TikTok video was Gold Creek Falls via the Lower Falls Trail up in location. And I mean, people can look it up and stuff to find where it is. But we went to that area and everything, and there was a moment where we were at like this fence. And think, you know, any kind of national landmark and such where there is a fence that clearly says, do not cross fence.
Okay.
And
it didn't say do not cross fence.
Well, what I'm saying is maybe
all those words
try to be respectful if you are going places. But my little mermaid was like, no. And she went over the little fence and stuff.
Everyone goes over that fence.
Yes.
That fence is more just kind of the end of the trail and a good viewpoint, but people go on the rocks by the falls.
And it wasn't a dangerous thing. No. So it was okay.
It was in the summer. The creek
was
pretty low.
It was when we were almost finished for the day that you had just kind of taken a seat. And after seeing you kind of do that and helping you with mermaid stuff, and you were also concerned for me because I was scrambling about on the rocks trying to get the perfect picture, being Mr. Peter Parker, you know. And it was just seeing you nice and small there that I knew that this is the woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with.
So,
and we have a little picture.
We have a picture of the moment. And it's this little photo. And you love that photo.
Because you're just so happy and small. Yeah.
And you always, like, if that photo pops up on your Google Photos wallpaper, you're always like, I love this photo. And I was always like, okay, what do you like about this photo so much? I kind of look like a little child, you know?
It's not you being a child. You know, this is not that kind of thing. But it's the fact that you just seem so happy. And you're just at peace and everything. And I like the outfit you're wearing. And I don't know. I like making you feel that way.
So, anyways, I'm tired of waiting. We are going to show the video of the proposal of how it went down, sort of part of it. Well, it is pretty much it in its entirety. And Bryson's speech. Are you ready for your?
Sounds good. I hate the way my voice sounds.
No, your voice sounded fine. Okay, are you ready? Oh my goodness! Excuse me. Okay.
There's the falls. Remember the last time we went, there was that adorable photo of you. Like, all the mermaid shots were great. The way you were kind of sitting on the rocks and you're like... And I don't know, I just love it so much. Because I just love you.
Reason why you want to go back?
Yeah, I like that. No, we don't have to recreate it. I don't want you to get your pants wet. But I like when you're doing that, because it makes me smile. And you're a happy little mermaid. See, I like when you're happy, because it means that, well, as selfish as this might be, that I help have a hand in that, because you make me happy too. And I like being able to spend that time with you. You make me feel so wonderful. Everything that you do makes me feel incredible. And I really appreciate everything that you do for me. And even if we're not going to go over the fence or anything like that today, because I don't really want to fall into the water, you always push boundaries for me and make me get out of my comfort zone and such. And I always appreciate that opportunity. And it's just like how you help other people as best as you can and everything. And I really appreciate you going above and beyond for everyone. And it was here, when you were doing that little mirror sit, when it was a little bit nicer day, that I realized you're the woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with, no matter what. So baby, you do me the honor. Gotta get it right. Of marrying. Yes? Aw, little lady bird. I love you, little bird. I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Every day. Yeah.
That's the actual full singer.
Yeah.
Squish.
Yes.
That's my friend and my sister. And that's
There
the
it
video!
is. Yeah.
So, it's super sweet. Oh, it makes me so happy. It just brings us back to that time. And it's like, oh, it was so magical. You guys are saying, oh, it's so beautiful.
I like the siren Emily's take notes, give notes to boyfriend.
Yes. No, totally. Well, thank you, Philip. We will be having our wedding here, where we live, with all of our friends and family. I do like Texas, but given still global current state, we'll likely not be traveling outside of Canada for our honeymoon. We want to, but, realistically, it's probably not going to happen. But we're just hoping we can have, like, a wedding with people.
Yeah.
It's been a good time. Who's chopping onions? Oh, good, we've made people cry. Okay. I'm a crier. If you don't know that about me, I cry, like, quite a bit. I cried, like, twice yesterday. Probably 3 times yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I cried, like, 3 times yesterday. Hormones don't help, but I'm a crier. And
during the proposal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I cried a little bit during the proposal, but I had the mindset. I was like, we're not going to full-on sob, because I know we're taking photos after this.
You could have cried. People would
I
understand.
cried a little bit. I cried more when I saw, like, my dad and, like, our pastor. I cried when I saw our pastor. I was like,
yeah.
So, pretty awesome. But yeah, thank you guys for the congratulations. We're having a good time, still, soaking it all in. We're only going to be engaged once.
Yes.
So it's a fun time to be in. What were we going to do after showing the video?
You wanted to talk about the story.
Oh, yes, the story. Should we do it from your point of view or my point of view first?
My point of view is just panicking because in the area we're located in, and actually that's another thing to note, is there's been massive rainfalls and stuff recently, which thoughts going, well, not really, but
that was sarcasm.
Going out to people affected by that, of course, like I feel bad. 2 weeks ago, however, there was also worries of rain and such too. But the main thing was I kept checking the weather over and over again, seeing, okay, is it going to rain today? And it's going to rain, maybe not, maybe yes, maybe not. It would be the extent that one day it would be saying clear skies, no worries and anything like that. And then the day afterward, it would be like, yeah, it's going to rain like 20 millimeters, right? Which I don't know how many inches that is. Take thumbs and start counting. But the thing is that we, like on the day, it said, okay, well, there's going to be light rain and then heavy rain. So I was like, I hope the light rain only lasts there. And in the footage, you'll notice that it is not raining. But in the portion of it where they're adjusting the necktie and such like that, I think that might have been after. But I think they included some when I was going to the photographer and videographer for some assistance. The clouds parted completely for that 3-hour period that we were going to do the proposal. And it was absolutely magical when we were driving up there, seeing blue skies and everything. It was a little bit of traffic, which wasn't, but that's okay. But I mean, we came prepared with umbrellas and such like that anyway. And the trip up was fantastic. We saw a dog, got to pet a dog, and there wasn't any rain. It didn't really make much difference because there was overspray from the falls, but it was just I was very, blessed and everything for that. So.
And I mean, we'd obviously talked about things. It's not like he just pulled a fast one at me, like, you want to get married? I was like, we hadn't talked about this at all. Like, we kind of, just had our moments.
I did mess with you at another location.
You did.
But
beforehand, we were like, I've been ready to be engaged for, a year. Since, Christmas of last year, I've been like, I want to be engaged. And, because female gremlin brain, I'm like, let's go. I'm ready to be engaged. And I don't think you were quite at that point. But you did know that you wanted to marry me in, June of last year.
2020, yes. Yeah. When I went there, I knew that no matter if it was going to take another year or if it was going to take, several, you were the person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Absolutely. So.
But, then kind of this summer, I was like, all right, so we talked about it.
Your friends told me.
We talked about it a bit this summer, and I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's get this show on the road. And I had, like, no idea what you were planning and stuff, or, like, when you wanted to do it. I'm like, I'm happy to wait. But if we don't get engaged by the end of this year, I'm gonna be mad. I was like, ring by spring, let's go.
Oh.
And yeah, but then we were at our friend's wedding, who are the friends that did the photos and videos.
Yes, and they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, shout out to Venture Media. They are absolutely amazing. They are so good. Oh, it's amazing. They did such a good job. And so we were at their wedding, and you know we're goo-goo-eyeing each other the entire night. It was a good time. We're like, yeah, marriage, weddings. Oh, that should be us one day. And our friends who were, like, in the bridal party, like, gave a speech and, like, were very much not subtle about it. They're like, well, Steve and Jacob are married. All right, so who's next?
One of your friends had asked me, they were like, oh, any tears in the future? And I played dumb.
Well, it's because we cried at the wedding.
But I played dumb, and I was like, I don't know, maybe. Might go somewhere, yeah. And then you left, and you were just like, and you left.
Dumb.
And I was like, because I knew at that point. But then also, the bride had asked me, saying, oh, well, are you thinking of proposing? And, like, when are you thinking of getting married? And I said, oh, well, we won't get married anytime soon. And I wanted to playfully be like, but it might be coming, the proposal, sooner than you think. But her dad was like, excuse me. And I got cut off. No. So all she heard was, I don't know if we're going to get married anytime. Oh, hello. And she's like, what?
Oh, no.
So...
Oh, I didn't know that. That's hilarious. Oh, that's great. Oh, man. Yeah, but we were at that wedding, and we were, like, giving each other goo-goo eyes and stuff. And, like, 2 days before, you had messaged my best friend, who was also the maid of honor in that wedding.
Yes, Megan.
Megan was just, freaking out. But you'd messaged Megan, like, sent her this big thing, like, I want to marry Faith, and these are all the things I want to do for the proposal. And she's like, ugh. Just like, could we talk about this later?
Well, yeah, that was the idea. Yeah. You know, after that had finished, then we could kind of discuss it. And she was instrumental in ensuring that everything went according to plan. There was an issue, as we'll get into, but I mean, it's okay. Things happen and we make do, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it was funny. But we're at that wedding, and you're like, you know, Faith, I really want to go back to that Gold Creek Falls. Maybe sometime in October or November. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be good. And at this point, I knew that you'd already asked my parents, too.
Oh, yeah.
I'd known that something was coming. I was like, ooh, it's happening soon. And I told my sister. And then I texted my sister while we were there, like, right after you said that. I was like, okay, so I know what he's going to do. And she was like, come on, Bryson! You're not very subtle, and I love that. And it's really hard to pull the wool over my eyes. I'm extremely perceptive.
Well, my thing was I didn't mind you knowing, like, it was going to happen, and I wanted it in a discreet place. We weren't going to do it in the middle of somewhere. I created a red herring day where we would do it somewhere on Granville Island.
Yeah, and that did throw me off. You were saying, like, oh, we should go to Granville Island, dress nice, take photos of the lights, like, on this day 2 months in advance. And I was like,
My thought process there was I didn't want to do it somewhere super public, just in case. I didn't think you'd say no, but I didn't want you to feel pressured to say yes, if that makes any sense. Yeah. If anybody's been in a position where they've had something brought to them, and then the person's like, I'm around a bunch of people, you can't say no.
Yeah.
It's not a good feeling. So I figured that it would be better to have it in a private, secluded kind of area, just so you had the freedom to decide what your heart actually wanted, instead of what people might have wanted you to say.
Just with the camera in the face.
Well, that too. But the person was the camera. You could tell the camera person, but the videographer, you had no idea, and you didn't know also that I was wearing a wire.
No, so, I didn't.
Yeah, and there was some people when I shared it, they asked like, "Why are you wearing a wire?" I was like, "I'm a government agent." It's the secret thing, trying to bring down the conspiracy. The conspiracy.
Oh gosh, but yeah, that was a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'd like kind of figured that's what you were doing, and then I got my ring size by your mom.
My mom gave it away.
And then your mom was also like, hey, let's go get our nails done, just for grown-up girl bonding time. And I'm like, I hate getting my nails done. Like, that's the thing about me. I cannot stand having nails. And I still have them, and they're very pretty, but I'm like, get them off of me. They're glued onto my fingers, so I don't know how. But anyways, and I was like, something's up. And normally I take Fridays off, but I...
Yeah. You're like, I'm going to work 2 hours.
You can blame Kyle. My coworker was like,
your coworkers work very hard and they do very well and such, but it was very funny when you said, I'm going to work 2 hours, and
My
I
team
told
member
an
had
emergency.
no, we had a dentist appointment, and I didn't want to, like, call someone in to cover for 2 hours, so I was like, I'll just cover for Kyle for 2 hours, just, like, it's kind of just, like, building security and maintenance and stuff. I was like, I'll just, put down my computer, I'll just, like, work for 2 hours, and then pass the facility phone back off to my coworker, and then they'll leave, and I've been, like, purposely not planning a lot of things without, like, letting you know for weekends, because I was like, I don't want to ruin anything.
Your sister was also supposed to be on top of that, too. Because
Yeah,
when you said you were going for a swim to SFU, I was like, I'm like, we can make it work. We can go to there afterward and then, like, go for a dinner. There we go. So
I did a bad thing, but yeah, I was like, oh, what should I do this Friday? I don't know. And my sister was like, can you help me with an audition? And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to work for a few hours. And then I sort of forgot about the thing. I planned with Jyra, yep. And then I made plans for a swim with some of my mermaid friends. But I'd also suspected something may have been up.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I've got a bit of time. I don't know. We should do something before we go swimming.
I suggested.
And you're like, we should go to this hike. And I was like, oh, it's going down. Okay. And then, and so then I drove back from work, and you're like, just waiting for me. You're like, hurry up, the light is leaving us.
No, okay, maybe a little bit, the rain and stuff. But I had come prepared. I expected it to rain.
Yeah.
As long as you were there, that was the main thing.
Pacific Northwestern proposal, it's always raining. But we were like, oh my gosh, you were like, waiting for me, like, outside. You'd already, like, gotten out of your car, and I was like, okay, give me a minute, I'm gonna pack up my things. And, at first I thought you were wearing sweatpants, and I was like, okay, it's obviously not happening today. But then I realized they were just kind of looser dress pants, and I was like...
I had planned to wear, like, something over top, but I realized it would look weird if I took the pants off at the thing.
You just stripped your pants before proposing. Like, I've got something to ask you.
Yeah.
I have done that before, where I was like... I was hiking with some friends, and I had shorts under my sweatpants, and these weren't people I knew very well, but I was just like, oh yeah, sure, and I just, like, whipped off my pants, and it was, like, a bunch of guys that were like, oh, and then they're like, oh.
The other thing, can we put Merp up for a second again?
Yeah.
My other fear when we were planning it out was I really like this outfit and stuff for when we go on hikes and stuff.
Yeah, it's my sport leisure.
I didn't want you to wear this when I proposed to you, though.
Yeah.
I was kind of a little scared, so when you said, oh, I'm going to look a little bit nice, I'm like, one, she knows maybe what's going on, but two, thank you. Because I didn't want her to look like, I'm in my tracksuit. And it's like, no, that's not really good proposal kind of weather, so.
And we're in here, and I'm just like, I gotta put on some makeup, and I was like, should I bring a tail? And you're like, I'm like, I won't bring a tail. It's too wet out there. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
You could have brought one.
Yeah, but that's okay. But then we, congrats to you both. Thank you, Digital Mermaid.
Digital Mermaid.
And we, so we're driving up to the waterfall, and I'm like, oh, snap, this is happening. And we make it to the waterfall, and I don't see our friend's car that I'd suspected you may have hired them as the photographers. They'd hidden their car, and I was like, okay, and then we're walking up, and you're, like, being so cheesy and romantic, and, like, you keep stopping at these different points.
And I was turning it on and off because
you had a mic, and I didn't know you had a mic.
Yeah, but what were you saying?
Not romantic things.
Yeah, that, and you're like, so this person got a new, like, dog. And I'm like, okay, but, like, imagine our proposal video, and, like, it's just you talking about someone else. Or, like, at work, there's this thing, and this, and this. I'm like, that's not really good for a proposal thing. Like, I want to talk about you and me. So I was like, I kept turning it off and on.
Yeah, and you kept, like, you were, like, very clear. You're like, you stay on my right side, and then you kept fiddling with your butt, and then you kept looking around behind you.
So you can see that in the video because the person was very discreet in ensuring that they weren't being seen to the extent I almost thought they were someone else. Yeah. Because there was someone that was there, and they were in front of us for the period, and we were at a period where we took later photos and such. But, and I hope I'm in the frame, I just saw a gentleman with a hood up, and they had this here. And then, in a period that I had turned off the microphone, I had mentioned to you, like, what's your favorite Finding Nemo character? Because I always think that I'm kind of like Mr. Ray. And I goes, oh, something, something, something in the sea. And you said, oh, well, You know, I'm probably a lot like Hank in Finding Dory.
I have
or
mine a
Gil.
pulp of Hank.
Yeah.
Look, he's so cute. I
With
love him.
coffee.
He hates people, and he has coffee. He
But
drinks coffee.
or Gil, and then you said or Darla, and I'm like, who's Darla? And you're like, the girl with the fish, and then you yelled out like the pufferfish does, Darla! And this large Caucasian gentleman appeared, but like turned around, looking at us kind of weird, and I immediately registered in terrified thought,
like, that's not
that
Jay.
is not him. So I quickly was looking around, but luckily like 5 minutes after when we saw the dog, I saw him. So then I was like, okay, we're all good. We didn't beat them there because I was scared because we were moving really quickly.
We are fast walkers.
Yes.
Well, I was like, oh, Bryson wants to get going. Like, he wants to make it to the waterfalls so that, you know, he can propose, and it's, like, nice. And, but you keep, like, looking at these overlooks. I'm like, you're not going to propose here. Let's keep going. And then you're, like, trying to, like, turn on your mic and turn off your mic. I thought you were just like, is the ring still in my pocket?
No, I knew there. You can hear me say, though, gotta get it right because the box is in here.
Here, I got it.
Oh, thanks, Amir. You open it this way, but I didn't want to be sitting here going, and then potentially break it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, ring. There you go. So, makes a nice clasp.
Yes, very, very satisfying. But
Anyway, so the proposal happened.
yes.
And it was good.
Yes, it did happen, but it was just really funny. You know, you like, did our friends come? Oh gosh.
Oh, yes.
And
So-
me being like, well, let's get this show on the road. And then, like, you were saying really romantic things. You're like, the water is so beautiful,
Just like you.
but not as beautiful as you. And then I just, as I do, I just bail from it. I just, you know, go, hey, look, there's a tree that's fallen down or something like that. No proposal is complete without a small lake of awkwardness. Oh, you have no idea, Madison. Anyways, but let's, you know a bit of the backstory of, you know, me figuring out what was going on, Bryson's wonderful, wonderful plan. So let's watch it again, and then we shall say what went wrong.
There's the falls. Remember the last time we went, there was that adorable photo of you. Like, all the mermaid shots were great, but where you were kind of sitting on the rocks and you're like, and I don't know, I just love it so much because I just love
the
you.
reason why you want to go back?
Yeah, I like that. No, we don't have to recreate it. I don't want you to get your pants wet, but I like when you're doing that because it makes me smile.
Just like,
And you're a happy little mermaid. See, I like when you're happy because it means that, well, as selfish as this might be, that I help have a hand in that because you make me happy too. And I like being able to spend that time with you. You make me feel so wonderful. And everything that you do makes me feel incredible. And I really appreciate everything that you do for me. And even if we're not going to go over the fence or anything like that today, because I don't really want to fall into the water, you always push boundaries for me and make me feel, get out of my comfort zone and such. And I always appreciate that opportunity. And it's just like how you help other people as best as you can and everything. And I really appreciate you going above and beyond for everyone. And it was here, when you were doing that little mirror sit, when it was a little bit nicer day, that I realized you're the woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with, no matter what. So baby, meow, would you do me the honor? Gotta get it right. Of marrying. Yes? Aw, little lady bird. You're my bird. I love you, little bird. I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Every day. Yeah.
And there we go.
Mm-hmm.
That's the proposal video. Sorry for you guys that were at the beginning of the stream and watched it. But, we just got to keep going.
Yes.
And at the beginning of the stream, it's a little bit less buffery. But we will play it one more time.
Yes.
So that was so fun. And I'm really, really happy you got photos and videos. We've shared a bunch of photos already on our socials.
Yes, of course.
Of course, you gotta. But, yeah, it was really, really sweet, because those friends of ours that did the photos and videos, Bryson had come to them and be like, I want to take photos of the proposal, and they're like, do you want to do a video? And you're like, oh, probably can't afford that, and then they're like,
well, they graciously
too
offered
bad.
it's for free, which was nice.
So that's amazing. So Stevie and Jay from Venture Media, amazing friends of ours. We get to see them in like an hour tonight, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
They're going to come over for some Lord of the Rings. Oh, thank you for linking them.
No
amazing.
There's no code Nerdmaid or anything like that.
No.
But maybe if you say you're friends of us.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know. I've been married for almost 18 years of this. I wish ours was recorded. It's pretty awesome.
Yes.
I love hearing people's proposal stories. And I recorded my friend Rebecca's engagement. We got photos, and I recorded it, but it was on my phone, and you couldn't really hear what Aiden was saying. But it was still really sweet. He was just like, I didn't plan to say anything, but I like you a lot. Will you marry me? And it was so cute. But you had a very, very nice, slightly flowery speech prepared. Bryson really has a way with words.
I'm not a very condensed writer.
No.
I'm not good at that. So.
Word limits are not your forte.
No.
A joke is like when we do vows, like we have to have a word count limit, because I'll just I'll have my things that I say, and yours will be like 7 minutes long, and everyone's like,
it's
Lord,
like
he really loves his wife.
It's like The Simpsons when like Bart subs in Inagata Devita, and it's like 10 minutes later, and there's people like, how long does this worship song go on for? Like, yeah, so.
Yeah, gotta run, but I'm happy for you guys. Good luck. Thank you, Catalina.
No.
So there was a part of your plan that went horribly wrong. Slightly horribly. I apologize in advance to my dear sister Jaira and my best friend Megan, who are I love dearly. But they're both middle children that have no idea what's going on ever. And Bryson's like, I'm gonna enlist their help. So what was your original vision?
So my original vision, I had two things that I wanted, aside from obviously the ring, is I wanted you to have flowers, and I got you a bouquet of red roses, to be fair, from a grocery store.
It's fine.
Anyway, and then I had a little letter board that said, she said yes.
Yeah,
and then I had a couple other things, like main thing actually that later became apparent was my jacket, where... a jacket was meant to keep me warm and kind of be nice, but I couldn't wear the jacket when I was out and about, right?
Because that just wouldn't be cool.
Exactly. So what I did was I left the jacket there, but I said, oh, bring this and a couple other things. What I had mentioned to them, because unfortunately...
Who bring what?
Well, they both were supposed to bring them together.
So
right?
Megan and Driver were supposed to bring the letterboard, the jacket, the shoes,
but I explicitly said that Megan was supposed to bring a board only. But there
Right.
was a set of 5 boards as well. Think like what you use for floor, like laminate
wood
flooring
planks.
and such. And they attributed it as wooden planks to bring to the falls, which was not what I had envisioned. I had no plan on wooden planks, so they brought wooden planks to the spot. But the other thing that is partly my fault, but also theirs as well, is communication was not the best in terms of that, but also where they were supposed to go.
Oops.
They found the parking lot, but the problem is they took the wrong trail.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to describe it in a way that's best. If you've ever played Skyrim, there is a small little path that leads nice staircases up to where the Greybeards are, which is there, and the only adversary is like a frost troll. But you can also hop up a side of a mountain to get to where you need to go to, which is what I did on my first playthrough.
Everyone does that on their first playthrough.
Yes.
They're like, where's the stairs? Just climb up the mountain.
So the friends decided to go up the side of the mountain on a much more arduous trail, and we didn't see them for another hour or so.
So they were supposed to meet us. Like, you were supposed to propose, and then we're gonna, like, hike our way back down and then go to this nice beach area where they'd set up a beautiful little scene with the board and the flowers and then us to each other and give Bryson the jacket and shoes so you'd look all nice.
And they weren't there.
No, we show up there, and the photographers had already set out a few decorations.
From their wedding.
And we're like, ooh.
Yes.
and you were like, oh, I have some friends coming. I'm like, oh, that's wonderful.
Well, I told you at that point because I
Yeah.
wanted you to know that there were at least flowers coming, right?
Yeah.
Because I had put some thought into this. We weren't just going to walk around the forest, right?
Yeah.
But I had let you know, but there wasn't anything there. It was just the stuff that they had brought. So we made do as best as possible. And again, the photos turned out lovely. But as time went on, it became less, oh, I want you to have like everything that you need. And more so, one, I'm cold because it's cold out and I don't have a jacket because you had mine, as you'll see in some photos. But the other thing is that where are they?
Where are they?
Because you were worried that they had gotten lost and somehow you had a vision of them falling into a river or something like that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm just, where am I? Sorry.
It might not be best to do this,
No, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so, like, we're still in our post-engagement high and our bliss, and we're like, wow, this is great, we're gonna take photos, this will be so fun, and then we're like, okay, so, my best friend and my sister are not here yet, they're probably late, because they're both very late people that sometimes get a bit confused, but...
Your friend didn't answer the door when I dropped the stuff off.
Yeah, she was asleep. And we're like, okay, well, I guess they'll come eventually, it'll be fine. We just hope they made it. Like, you did send them the Google Maps to where the trailhead is.
At very last minute, because you were there. I couldn't tell you, so I just said, Lower Falls this, Gold Creek Falls, and sent them like a random maps link, and that's it.
It was the right maps link.
Yes, but...
And so we make it at the end of the trail, and they're still not there, but we see
their car
in the parking lot. We're like, okay, so they're not on the trail they're supposed to be on. Clearly we would have seen them if they were coming late, so... Where'd they go? And so then we start, we go down a different trail. We're like, hey, maybe they took this one by accident. No, they're not there. We ask people, and we leave a message in a bottle in a McDonald's coffee cup, sticks it in the door handle saying, do not leave. Stay here so we can touch base with you.
Because the rain had started and we didn't want the paper to disintegrate so they wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because their original plan was to go back to where reception was because there was no reception at the park.
Yeah, there's no reception.
So... Yes. Meanwhile, when we had arrived at the parking lot, they had arrived at where they were supposed to be. At the falls, there is a fall... not really. They had arrived at, a large sheer face up the falls. If you look in the pictures where Faith and I are...
Oh,
donation.
Digimer. Thank you so much.
There's a, wall kind of there, too. They would be at the top of that wall. They came down that with boards. Holding onto boards, scrambling down. I watched the videos afterwards, and I looked at your sister and her friend and said, I would never expect you to do this. If it was my friends, I'd say, yeah, do it. It's fine. You guys can do this. You do it for fun. Well, at least one of you. But your sister, no. Because I don't want her to, fall.
So they're, to clarify, they went the wrong way, they went on the wrong trail, carrying everything and 5 planks of wood, and then we miss them and they miss us, and then they're in a provincial park by themselves wandering around, and we're also there, and okay, now we're worried. And so then we go looking for them, and they make it back to the parking lot after obviously not seeing us. And as they were going down the trail, they're asking people, they're like, have you seen a happy engaged couple? And some people are like, oh, yeah, they went down that way. And so then they make it back to the car, all bedraggled and sad, and then are finally like, okay, so clearly we missed the boat, we messed up. And as well, as they're walking down the trail...
They had lost several of the letters
There
on
was
the board.
the hole in the bag where the letter board was, and they're like, oh no, we lost some letters on the trail, and all they had left was sad.
S-A-D-Y-E-S.
Yes. Sad, yes. And so then, we're meanwhile hello, where are you? Picturing that they've been eaten by bears and running around oh shoot, okay, we might need to call in a missing person to the police. And it's just bad. And then, so we go up and down another trail thinking that maybe they've gotten confused and misread the instructions, which, yes, but we got it wrong. And then we finally, make it back to the parking lot, and we see them. thank goodness. And it was this weird mixture of like, oh my gosh, we're so happy for you, but also, what happened? So we have some images of those moments. So, I mean, obviously I was delighted, you know, still at the end of the day, that you had thought to include both my best friend and my sister. That was really, really lovely. Sorry, I'm just trying to get these photos resized into OBS. I should have done this ahead of time, but I was like, you know what? Every story is better with photos. So this is us hanging out with the sad yes. There's Megan and Jaira
so
on the left.
I had seen this sad yes, and I mean the day was already like exactly what I was hoping for. Sans this, I don't think of a lot of things. I don't think a lot of detail and such. And the photographer had thought like, oh, you need a blanket, you need this, this, and this. And I told them, I said, you know, respectfully, it seems a little silly to surprise my soon-to-be fiance with a board that says she said yes. Like, what if she says no, right? But I told her, you know, the two things that I want is just for her to have flowers and such, and then also to have the board that said she said yes. And seeing us alongside the jacket, because I was cold, seeing sad yes, literally the worst thing that can be put on that board. It might have well have said, like, she said no. They had instead, I had this moment where I was like, where are the letters? Where's the rest of them? And everybody thought like, oh, well, you know, you just have to make do with what you've got and everything. And it's like, okay, I can make do, that's fine, but where are the letters?
Where are they? And Jared's like, they're on the trail somewhere.
So I was desperately going to their car, and they were in the little hatchback. And so I'm like in the back seat looking for anything. I'm like with my shoes, they gave them my shoes too. I'm like looking for them like in the shoes, in the bag and such. And I see these large plywood boards. And I ask your friend, I look at her and say, what are the boards for? And the moment she has this registration of, because I had said board, but they had misconstrued it into boards multiple. So it took then explaining to me what had happened that I realized that they had carried they're probably a good 5 pounds, which isn't much when you're holding it. It's fine for all my friends,
but when you're
all my bodybuilders moving weight.
Planks.
But when you're walking an arduous hike that is 10 times more difficult than the little walk that I had planned, it's not great. So I made do with the letters that we had. We changed it to just yes, but it was it was
a little heartbreaking. And then at this point, we're also like super emotional and like really kind of scared for them, but then relieved.
Yeah.
But then it's just so funny. You're like, your face here just is like, you had one job. Where are the other letters?
Yeah.
Megan.
I dislike my face because it's expressive. And it's good for some things, but at the same time, it doesn't hide things very well. So
it's so funny.
But it turned into still a really wonderful day, and it gives us something to laugh about. Yeah. It's funny. Your sister, you know, videographer and actress, you know, extraordinaire. She has her own footage that she's mentioned several times that exists of this, and I do want to see a supercut of the proposal video with these included of like the nice, beautiful thing, and then cut to like the Blair Witch Project as they're like scrambling down a mountainside. You know, you see like the falling down or something, but I don't know.
Oh, it's a good time. So I think we'll play the video one more time, and then we got to get ready for a little get-together we're hosting. But we'll play it one more time. We thank you guys so much for tuning in, enjoying our engagement videos, and we'll be sharing a few more photos on our Instagrams and stuff like that if you want to follow us. Anyways, I'll play the video one more time, and then we'll say goodnight.
Alrighty.
So here we are once more.
Last time we went, there was that adorable photo of you. Like, all the mermaid shots are great, but where you were kind of sitting on the rocks and you're like, and I don't know, I just love it so much because I just love you.
Reason why you want to go back?
Yeah, I like that. No, we don't have to recreate it. I don't want you to get your pants wet, but I like when you're doing that because it makes me smile. And you're a happy little mermaid. See, I like when you're happy because it means that, well, as selfish as this might be, that I helped have a hand in that. Because you make me happy too. And I like being able to spend that time with you. feel so wonderful. And everything that you do makes me feel incredible. And I really appreciate everything that you do for me. And even if we're not going to go over the fence or anything like that today, because I don't really want to fall into the water, you always push boundaries for me and make me get out of my comfort zone and such. And I always appreciate that opportunity. And it's just like how you help other people as best as you can and everything. And I really appreciate you going above and beyond for everyone. And it was here, when you were doing that little mirror sip, when it was a little bit nicer day, that I realized you're the woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with, no matter what. So baby, meow, would you do me the honor? Gotta get it right. Of marrying. Yes? Aw, little lady bird. You're my bird. I love you, little bird. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Every day. With you.